Good story writing. Ninesols lore is very rich and progressive. Unlike Hollow Knight, where you get lost and try to figure out what you should do next, in Ninesol the character you are playing as you has a strong grasp of his environment and is very much aware of where he needs to head out or what we should do next. It took away the element of surprise for me a bit since he did not sound surprised about nearly anything. But figuring out what he was after and what went wrong as he progressed in his journey was satisfying nonetheless. Parrying mechanic. Not so hard to master yet so satisfying to deflect and attack every single time. It's essential no matter who you fight against, but damn, was it fun to fight against bosses like parrying is what makes ninesols well ninesols. No matter how hard bosses are, you will eventually start seeing the patterns and get a hang of it. The great characters. I love how they portrayed the personality of characters such as Shengong or love the approach of Yi, with his materialistic comments and mindset. Every conversation I had with Chiyu was an absolute delight. The beautiful art style. As can be already seen on the store page, the game has a beautiful Chinese cyberpunk themed art style. All the animated cutscenes were done beautifully. I'm pretty sure all of you Hollow Knight players out there will be more than just satisfied with them. There are also cutscenes done in comic manga style that will appear before and after every main boss fight. They were really cool. The visuals are just stunning. I haven't played the Metroidvania this pretty since the Ori games, and both the tailpunk aesthetic and manga panels during the key moments really give it a sense of a style that adds to the already engaging story. The chilling opening sequence hooked me and made me want to discover what was going on in the massive facility you find yourself in. Fair warning, to people drawn by charming character design, the game has some dramatic tone shifts, and you will go from picking up bubble tea rations to expose intensities in the span of the room. The atmosphere is also very eerie, as you blitz through the keyboard cuts and mutilated freaks in an absolute banger of a soundtrack full of hymns and distorted bowling. I personally could not get enough of it. I harpooned the backs of the dragons and hidden storage containers filled with the human meat and marveled at the creative choices on display here. Did I mention the lovingly hard-drawn animations? It's all gorgeous. The game has built a rich world, which is a story before the time you start the game, and many characters are absolutely ancient. Each soul boss runs a sector of the facility, and part of the fun is you go throughout their lives as finding out how they adapted or contributed to the crisis going on at the moment as your angry little restaurantist hamster clashes philosophies with them and generally talks some materialist. Some of my favorite bits in this game come from when Soul decided to introduce a new gameplay mechanic in their level, or completely switch genres in one case. The strongest of these segments come in the first 2/3 of the game, but each level has a unique twist that make for some interesting platforming. About the cons, Jade stones, come equivalent of the Hollow Knight. I feel like most Jade stones aren't really impactful enough and many of them need some balance changes, especially their competing power usage. Knowledge cost equivalent of HK. I hardly made any changes to my default build throughout the entire game, mostly because other ones weren't really useful or were too situational to even consider using them. And honestly, I felt like some Jade stones were basically must-haves, such as Avarice and Pauper Jades. Extra money on kill and further collect radius, since you will be needed in Jin 24/7 in the game currency. Or some Jade stones are basically unusable on their own unless you pair with another, just as quick swipe or swift blade Jades with a breath of Jade, self damage on the parry attack, with repair self damage upon dealing melee damage. Another issue is personally obtaining the Jade stones wasn't impactful either. In Hollow Knight, for example, most people remember where they got their charms or spot the one they need to quick glance at their inventory. Ninesouls, however, likes the environmental build-up before giving Jade stones. You get most of them from random chests scattered around the map, and it doesn't really feel rewarding. Another personal issue I had with Jade stones was their designs. Nothing serious here, but I don't think the random symbols on the Jade stones differentiate them enough, unlike in Hollow Knight where most of the cards are visualized in a way that makes them portray their function and very changes them. Just another thing that made Jade stones less impactful and memorable for me. And also the con, I got the game for the 13 bucks and 50 cents regular pricing with discount, but I assume it is around 30 bucks for most people watching this. I feel like 30 bucks is a little bit too high with how much ninesols has to offer, but overall it's a very solid game. Doubt most of y'all will regret if it would decide to burn some extra bucks. About the con, Mike and Jade shout, "You are too loud, stop screaming, bozo." In conclusion, I overall really enjoyed playing the game and love the characters. I hope ninesols reaches the audience and grows its community. Only if it was just a little longer. I haven't had this much fun playing a Metroidvania for so long. Definitely I buy Metroidvania fans and a good breath of fresh air and folks out there still waiting for Silksong.